Good afternoon, CFM. It's Coach Matt with our Tuesday workout, deadlift strength day today, coupled with some core and accessory stuff, as well as our pull-ups for today. Let's begin with 3 rounds, descending reps on the calories, so 25, 20, and then 15 each round. After you get done with your calories, we're gonna go into band hamstring curls. So these ones, I either want you on a bench or flat on your ground, or flat on the ground. The feet go up and through, so it's pulling around my heels, getting a good stretch on that band, and then just pulling the band and my heels towards my butt and squeezing every rep for 8 reps. All right, when you get done with that, snap out of the bands without ripping all the hair off your legs. And then we're gonna do standing figure 4, a little bit of balance and a really good glute stretch. So plant one foot, cross the other leg over so that the ankle is above the knee. And then I'll start at my tall position, and then I'm in control, reaching down, trying to touch both hands to my foot. And I'm gonna try to get 4 reps of that up-down movement without falling down. You see me like throwing my arms out for balance. And if you could see, all the little muscles in my ankles and my feet are lighting up and moving around to try to grip the ground to keep me planted in place. And that is exactly the intent of the exercise. So don't feel like you're doing it wrong if your foot is getting tired and your ankle's getting tired. That's actually the true intent of that exercise right there. Next one is Spider-Man or Superman hold. So just down on the ground, try not to overarch away from the ground. We're not trying to hammer the low back with a ton of low back extension. We're trying to think global extension from the hips up, right? So everything is engaged, as opposed to just like, I can't even do this without helping with my hands, but I don't want to be arched away from the ground like this, right? I want to be just barely away from the ground with my arms in line with my head, okay? So it's all of the muscles from the back of my neck down to my low back are all trying to lever my torso away from the ground. After that, we're gonna go into warm-up reps of our deadlift. And today we're gonna do Romanian deadlifts, so you should do this in the warm-up. Even though we pick it up off the ground, once we start our set, we're keeping our hips up high, just letting that bar go a little bit below the kneecaps, and then squeezing as we stand tall. For this one, even you flexible people do not need to touch the ground. Try to control the bottom position with your mind and your muscles, so that as you go down, you're not bouncing against that bottom position, but you're intentionally slowing to a halt and then squeezing as you stand back tall to create good postural control at the bottom of that Romanian deadlift. All right. So this is every 3 minutes. We are going to do the following little set. So we're gonna get 6 rounds through, a total of about 18 minutes here. 7 reps of a Romanian deadlift. So if you have your pins set up here, we're gonna pick the bar up, walk it out, and then just do our 7 reps. The range of weight is 40 to 50%, all right? So this is our deload week 4 deadlifts only. And then after that, you're gonna go into a band reverse squat. So the reverse squat is just the opposite movement of the squat. So you gotta have a band, same position as our hamstring curls, and you're gonna have your feet up and through it. And this time I'm trying to hook my toes so that it doesn't fall off. So don't let your feet be lazy. Your toes need to be extended like those AT raises that we do all the time. And I'm raising my knees up at a wider position than normally. So just like how I would squat, you don't squat with your knees like together, right? I wanna squat with that normal like squatting stance. So this is our reverse squat. You'll hit the hip flexors and the lower abdominals with it. Try as hard as you can to keep the low back pressed hard to the ground as you do those reverse squats. And then the last one is a little static position for our lunge. The coach's challenge is with a plate overhead, but the standard movement is just finding that lunge position and then pushing up about 1 inch, right? And I'm just holding with good posture, 15 seconds on each side. There's lots of ways to give yourself a little bit of ease in that position. And what I'm asking for in that movement is to make it the hardest, most perfect version of that lunge position that you can, even if you have to hold, get some support from the rig in order to get that position. So some of the hacks or the ways that you can make this easier is by putting all the weight on your front leg and kind of like leaning into it, putting my hands on my leg. I can hold a decent position like this and it really does not cost me that much energy. But let go of my hands, kick myself back to the middle position, shoulders over the hips, and now this is an event for my back leg, right, to hold in that position. So make that one as hard as you possibly can. It will pay off in strength dividends. All right, when we finish with that, we have a core and pulling accessory set that we're gonna get through. Try to get through about 3 rounds in about 12 minutes. So a little bit of a pace to this one, but the weight is relatively light and the movements are not as challenging, right? It's just strict pull-ups. So whatever you need to do to get 5 to 8 strict pull-ups in one set, so maybe a little bit of assistance there. Don't make those like 1 rep max pull-ups. No one should get to the point where I get 4 reps and my 5th rep, I can only get my nose over the bar. That is inadequate assistance, right? You need to add bands or raise the height of the bands in order to get all the way through your set with the proper range of motion. It's not a problem with you, it's a problem with the setup of the exercise, that it's not allowing you to get to the last or the end of the set without hitting muscle failure, right? And that's just all that is a question of where are you on the sliding scale of how much assistance you need in order to get to 5 to 8 reps. Next one is L hang or L, no, actually I want these to be L hangs today. Hanging variants, right? So we're gonna hang from the bar and we're bringing our legs up out in front of us and we're going for 30 seconds. If you can alternate, like do one leg and the other leg, or you can do the whole leg, reset, whole leg, or you can keep both as knees. But either way, try to stay in that position for 30 seconds. And then 8 reps of a bent over row. And this can be, the bent over row should be lighter than whatever your deadlift was for today. That'll be like 25 to 30% of your deadlift for a set of 8 should be a good amount for your pulling for today. All right, that's it for our Tuesday. Have a great one, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday.